I hope that you and your family had an absolutely beautiful Thanksgiving this year. This year for us was very special. In my opinion, I think it was the best Thanksgiving that we've had in 25 years. 25 years ago, the beginning of November is when my mother got diagnosed with cancer, and we really didn't know what to expect in the beginning. So that first Thanksgiving was a very difficult one for us because we thought that it might have been the last one. We weren't 100% sure. We didn't know what was going on. And so it was a very emotional Thanksgiving for us. And by the time Thanksgiving the following year came around, my mom was gone. And we had a lot of healing and grieving and learning to do to try to figure out how we celebrate these special holidays, especially the holiday that was her favorite holiday, and how do we come together as a family and do that. And in the beginning, the first few years, it was very difficult. I can't even say for sure that we did a Thanksgiving those years. After the first few years, though, we sat down, me and my brother and sister and my father and a few other family members sat down and said that we really wanted to try to be together for Thanksgiving again, and we were going to try to figure out maybe some new traditions and some new ways to do it. So one of the very first things that we did was, instead of spending Thursday Thanksgiving together, we created a new Thanksgiving family tradition where we were celebrating on Friday. And that was kind of fun because our friends and our other family would always know that our family would do Thanksgiving on Friday. So a lot of times they would go spend Thursday with their family and then they would come to us on Friday. So we had a really nice group of people. But Thanksgiving was just never the same. When I was younger, my mom used to make this noodle pudding dish. Everyone in my family loved the noodle pudding. We would eat it while she was cooking it, but she would only make it once a year, and she would make it on Thanksgiving. And she used to tell me when I went away to college that she was never going to teach me how to make it because she always wanted us to come home for Thanksgiving so she could make it for us. And that was one of those really interesting things because after my mom was gone, we all wanted our noodle pudding. And so we all took turns at playing around with the recipes. And it took us a couple of years, but we got there. And I think that she would be very proud with how we represent her and make the noodle pudding now. But for the last several years, we've all been in different places, and I know a lot of families deal with that where you're all over the place. This year, though, we made a decision together that we were all going to be together for Thanksgiving. My father has not had all of his children and all of his grandchildren in the same place for about 6 years. So we made it happen this year, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was better than I think any of us ever could have imagined. We all got to spend quality time together, with individually with people, as a group with people. All the cousins got to be together and do sleepovers together. My brother and sister and I and my father got to spend time together, and it was really something that was very special. And it took us a long time to get here, but knowing that we did this year is something that we can now try to work towards every year and try to make happen every year. And I think that my mom was watching over us and was so happy with what she saw, and all of us left the weekend to go home just filled with so much love. And I've talked before about working consciously on relationships, and I can use my family as a very good example of that. We all love each other dearly, but we all obviously have our own lives, our own responsibilities, our own relationships. But this was the first year in a really long time that we all came together to make this happen, and it was very, very special. I know that this time of year and going through the holidays, especially when you're grieving, is very difficult. And it makes it hard when you don't have people around you that maybe understand what you're going through. And I wanted to talk to you very briefly about an amazing woman who I met after starting this channel, and her name is Samantha Ruth. And I will put all of her information below, but the website is Samantha Ruth, RUTH.com. And Sam lost her husband about 6 years ago and went through, and is still going through, a very long, difficult grief process. And you hear people say that grief has no time frame, and that's absolutely true. You can grieve for a year or 2 years and then feel like you've gone through it. You can do what happened with me as I was grieving for my mother, and it realistically took me 20 years to get to the point where I felt comfortable sitting and talking to you the way that I do about that loss. And what Samantha did was, because she was going through the grieving process, she understood that there were things that a grieving person needs, and maybe it's too difficult for them to ask for help. Maybe the people around them don't really know what even to offer so that they can help. And Sam started a group called Grief Hab, and she works with people to help them through the stages of the grief process. Did you know that almost 60% of people are grieving the loss of somebody that they loved? And we all know how difficult it is during the holidays. So for the second year in a row, Sam has organized an event called Healing Through the Holidays. And that will run this week, which is in conjunction with National Grief Awareness Week, which I didn't even know was a real thing until I met Sam. Healing Through the Holidays is a 7-day event. There are 6 speakers every day. There are creative healing sessions. There are journaling sessions. There are mediums that will be there to help connect you to the people that you've lost. The entire program is free, and not only will it be available during the holidays, but it will be also available for a few months after the holidays so that you can review any of the information that's there. And I highly recommend this if you are in the grieving process and if you need some community support. I think what Sam has done is great, and I am really looking forward to being a part of that this year. In fact, I will be speaking at one of the events on Saturday the 7th, and I will post all of the information down below for you. But I just wanted to send a little bit of love to anybody who is struggling right now and who really misses someone right now and needs some love and some support. Your community is here. There are people here that can help you and can talk to you, and you don't have to grieve alone, and you don't have to rush your grieving either. So please reach out to either myself, or I'm going to put Sam's information below, and join that conference this week and see if there's anything that you can take out of it or that you can help other people with, because we talk about that all the time, right? If you've gone through grieving and loss, and now you're in a position where you feel stronger and you feel like you might be able to help other people who are grieving and who have experienced loss, then that's what this community is all about, and I would love for you to be a part of it. So again, I'm going to put all of the information down there for you below. And I hope that you guys have an amazing week. I really hope that you had a beautiful Thanksgiving. This is a big week for me. I start my new job this week. And so I've had the opportunity to have some really beautiful things happen recently. And then to top it off with being with my family on Thanksgiving, which was just beautiful. So I hope that you all have an amazing week, and I hope to connect with you soon. Goodbye.